What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here on the Odd Chopper channel, coming to you with another edition of Liddy's Leans, Likes, and Locks MLB edition. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Goes a long way for me, goes a long way for you, because then you become a prize whenever great betting content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. Guys, Tuesday, 14 MLB games, 13 NBA games. Somebody's caffeinated today, but you know what? We got 3 runs here in the first inning for the Pirates. Good start by them. Oh, as I say that, Devers just went yard. So we're going to be paying close attention to that one. Cutter Crawford, fraud. Confirmed fraud. So we're going to definitely be firing that one up. Otherwise, you know, just the day's getting going. Milwaukee hit that money line early. So many people wanted to bet the Mets, and then everybody's deleting their comments in the YouTube section. I tell you what, society, we're getting soft. I like to, you know, fire it back, talk a little trash here and there, but a lot of people wanted to bet the Mets. They lost 10-0, so that was a bad idea. But also, I'm just trying to give you the best I can over a long sample size. There's going to be days that I'm sure I'm going to look like the idiot from time to time. But over the longer sample size, we want to be winning money in the MLB streets. And one place I guarantee I can help you do that is in the premium Discord. You can sign up for that in the video description box below. But speaking of really nice things that are great, Bet365, you bet $1, you get $200 in bet credits right now. It's only available in 4 states. How about that? Listen to these: Colorado, New Jersey, Ohio, Virginia. I repeat, Colorado, Ohio, New Jersey, Virginia. Those are the 4 states. You fire it up there, you are going to be taken care of. It's going to be really, really cool because you're going to get $200 in bet credits without doing a darn thing other than betting $1 when you deposit $10 or more over there. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER, and it's if you're 21 and over. I'll talk about it a little bit later, but as I said, we got a lot of MLB. If you want to check out NBA, Lindy's Leans, Likes and Locks, that's coming up here later in the evening. I'm going to be recording that, putting together all my work for that. Yeah, MLB. Nice to have all the lines out ahead of time. Nice to have the starting pitchers and an idea without injuries yet of where everybody's going to be at or what these lineups are going to look like. So without further ado, let's get to the picks. We kick off Tuesday with a fun one from a pitching perspective in the afternoon. My guy, Zach Gallen of the D-backs, making his second start of the season versus Yu Darvish, making his season debut for the Padres. Darvish played for Team Japan, so the Padres exercised precaution with him coming back and waited for the second series for him to make his debut. And most people know he is rather good at throwing baseballs anyway, sporting a 3.10 ERA over 34 games last year. But the K rate has gone down from the 30-ish% range where it's been for the past 6 years to a career low 25.6% in 2022. But the home ballpark is great. He appears to be still in good health. Yeah, I'm not going to go out of my way to pick on him the first game out of the gate. And my guy Gallen, happy I didn't end up taking that shot against the Dodgers because he got BABIP'd to death in that start. What is BABIP? Well, it's batted balls in play. He gave up 0 barrels over the course of 4 2/3 and 89 pitches. But the BABIP of 462 is just absurd. That would be the batting average against with the balls that got put in play. In other words, he got unlucky. The velocity looked identical to last year. I'm not concerned, as there were obviously a lot of blue pop flies that caught gaps, and the Dodgers are very good and cause a lot of problems for people. It's going to happen from time to time. So I know everyone wants to bet these standalone games, but picking on Darvish here or the Padres pen feels a bit foolish. And I'm incapable of betting against a pitcher that, despite the tough first outing, I strongly believe is going to have another solid year in the bigs. So I'll lean a backing of both starting pitchers here with the under of 7 at even money, as it's the best bet currently on the board. We're still waiting for bats to wake up on the San Diego side for the most part, but I have no interest in anything here unless a number moves, unless we see props that change. Happy to wait for the main slate of games, but this afternoon standalone one, everybody wants to have a bet for it. I just don't have it. Under 7, that would be my lean. Cubs and Reds in Cincy is next. Hayden Wesneski versus Luis Cessa for the Reds on tap. Starting with Wesneski, apologize to his family, the Cubs organization, God and country. The man is a rather unheralded prospect who actually came up in the Yankees minor league system. Very limited exposure at the big league level last year, but a 3.64 xFIP seems to indicate he's okay. What doesn't seem to indicate he's okay, however, is an 83.9% left on base percentage, because that is due for major regression, and that will result in runs when the guys who are on base score instead of getting left on base. Look at that math. But the 25% K rate, 27% hard hit last year. Really good slider, it looks like. Look, I can't tell if he's good or not, but Zips and Steamer projections sure do not like him. A projected 4.55 ERA and 4.56 FIP this year. I'm going to assume Great American Small Park is not the place to test drive the new minivan. Don't know why he's a minivan. He just is, okay? And Luis Sessa for Cincy. He also came up with the Yankees as well, but he did have a lot longer track record of who he is. Just a dude. He's a 1.4 WAR guy from last year, a projected 5.07 ERA on Steamer for this year. He has to rely on a slider as his primary pitch, and it gets hard hit. Plus, he doesn't miss bats. Yeah, I'm going to say this is a major problem. So, pretty easy to side with Wesneski, the guy I couldn't even pronounce a second ago, as the rightful favorite here, but sort of surprised you can get the Cubs inside of minus 130 right now. Probably want to bet that before the number inflates, so go do that, yeah? If you hear this, if it's sitting inside of minus 130, bet it. If it's outside of minus 140, do not bet it. Simple as that. Chicago Cubs, money line. I like it. To Miami for Twins and Marlins, Kenta Maeda making his 2023 debut against last year's Cy Young winning Sandy Alcantara, who I have some thoughts about, but we'll get there. First, Maeda was nails in his last big league season of 2021, but was forced to miss all of 2022 after Tommy John surgery. So as great as his numbers were in that 2021 season after he struggled 2020 coming over from the Dodgers, he was forced to miss the entire year. Hard to cite any of his numbers and call them gospel or relevant, as I truly have no clue what to expect from Maeda here. But if I had to guess, his 4.91 ERA and 14 2/3 innings in the spring probably show he's going to be rusty. Although, a day with the Marlins in a great pitcher's park is probably about as good as it gets for your debut. But Sandy Alcantara, we bet against him. And if it weren't for Maeda's massive range of outcomes I believe he has for this outing, we'd be betting hard against him here too. His average fastball velocity was only down about half a mile an hour from his average last year, which makes sense for a first start as he's ramping up. But a 5.17 xFIP and only 2 Ks, not ideal. And if he runs into any hiccups, the Marlins will be really trying to get max work out of him just like they did all of last year, especially after Johnny Cueto was forced to leave Monday's game in the second inning. He did get up to 96 pitches right out of the gate, but just another thing to consider here. So what do we do here? Friends, it's Joey Gallo season. He is that dude. If you go back and watch the 2023 debut video of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks, I specifically shouted him out as one of the major beneficiaries of the shift evaporating. But it also helps to just hit the ball over everybody's head a mile into the stands too, so maybe he can keep doing that, yeah? And similar to my Anthony Rizzo analysis from Monday, he got walked in his first at bat. I was sad. I'm going to lean Joey Gallo hitting yet another home run on Tuesday, hoping that 1, the tough matchup suppresses the number, and 2, the tough ballpark suppresses the number. I want to be getting north of plus 350. That's what he was at least yesterday, or well, against Johnny Cueto. I got to imagine that number is going to be higher against Alcantara unless everybody's just jumping on the Joey Gallo bandwagon. Caesars, though. Caesars, they've had some really good home run odds. Just want to give them a special shout out. I don't know if we have anything going in the video description box below. If we do with them, sign up there because they've had the best home run odds that I've seen so far in 4 days. Also, I just want the entire home run board to look better like it did last year. But we're going to be leaning, because I need to see the number, kind of important when you're betting, Joey Gallo, the man, the myth, the resurrected legend for hopefully another bomb. Joey Gallo, home run, lean. Weird spot here, and I'm a little confused by this line, but let's talk it out. It's lefty Matt Strahm of the Phillies filling in for another lefty and Ranger Suarez, who's been in this rotation the last couple years. And he's going to be facing Domingo Herman for the Pinstripes. Strahm was a reliever all of last year, and seeing as he didn't have any work beyond 4 innings in spring ball, I'm assuming a muted pitch count here. Not reliever type workload, but maybe 4 innings, 70 pitches tops. And there's obviously a ton of righties in this Yankees lineup, which isn't ideal for any lefty to face. But Gregory Soto, Jose Alvarado, they're the other 2 lefties in that pen. And the Yankees actually crunched righties last year harder. It's a whole thing. I mean, no Carpenter, who was out of his mind last year. So I don't want to be going too far into that sample size. Judge some actual reverse splits. That's a conversation for a different day. Too many games. But I don't really like Herman either. His 19.5% K rate isn't inspiring, and while he found ways to be serviceable, a 302 xWOBA of 40.6% hard hit isn't egregious, but it's hard enough It's above average, and a 16.7-degree average launch angle against good offenses in a short porch stadium like Yankee Stadium could end up being a problem for him long term. So this game screams over to me. Two really good offenses projecting for lots of runs against bad pitchers. Hopefully the weather stays good. That's the only thing that keeps me from locking this. So over 8.5. Pay attention to the weather. Yes, we want to be paying attention to those things, considering it's April 4th. But this Philly pen really struggled out of the gate in Arlington. I don't really like the Yankees pen, even though they've been all right so far. So go over, continue on your merry way, 8.5 runs. Whoop. What's cooler than being cool? Not Chad Cool of the Washington Nationals here facing Josh Fleming. All right, of the Tampa Bay Rays. Now, similar to the last game with Philly, Fleming most likely just going to be pitching like 2 or 3 innings in a roll where he's going to turn it over to the bullpen, abbreviated starter. And unlike the Philly spot, Tampa has a much better pen, and they got the Nationals in front of them instead of the Yankees. That's the 2-for-1 special at the old saloon. As for Cool, my goodness, he just got tossed around by bad teams. Went from the Pirates for a lot of years. Rockies last year was terrible. And now, Nats? Woof. And while slider is not completely terrible, his slider's okay. Everything else kind of is not okay. It's really bad. So I'm not going out of my way to back him or this Nationals offense. Still, I sort of wish the number on the Rays laying the run line here, the 1.5, was better than plus 104. Doesn't feel like a long-term profitable bet. So although I'm leaning it, know that it's probably not going to be on my card, although I obviously think Tampa Bay wins, and I obviously think that they could cover the minus 1.5, and that this number shouldn't be plus 104, but I would like better than that when you're laying runs. I get it. It's on the road. It's a terrible baseball team on the other side. They're murdering them here as we speak. I believe they're up 4-0 in the middle of the fourth as I'm recording it this second, but it's just a lean. Because again, don't get in the habit of making bets just because you think something's going to happen. It's about that value. We're going to add value. I don't know why I'm saying value like that. I think this segment's over. Let's talk about Bet365, shall we? To the credits. Bet365, damn good fun. Let me suck it to you one more time if you live in one of the 4 states of Colorado, Ohio, Virginia, and New Jersey. Yeah, one of those 4 states. If you live in it, congratulations. Use your lovely geolocation phone. Click in the video description box below. If you're on your desktop, just find the link down there. Click it. Go to Bet365, one of the most reputable books in the world. I can't talk. I have a lot more talking to do. I'm going to save it up, but just save yourself the trouble. Go to Bet365, deposit $10 or more, bet $1 and get $200. Yes, $200 in bonus bets this second. So don't know what you're waiting for. Just do that. Colorado, Virginia, Ohio, or New Jersey. Just go and do that. It guarantees you a win. $200 to be firing up immediately into the MLB ether, to be able to fire off in the NBA streets. Again, 13 games. Check out Lindy's NBA leans, likes, and locks. Going to be good stuff. Going to be a lot of bets in play. Lots of opportunity to make money. Do it at Bet365. It's if you're 21 and over. And if you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. Alrighty, y'alls. Back to the picks. To Fenway Park we go. And when we started this program, the Pirates were up 3-0. Then Boston scored 5 runs. It's 5-3, and now it is 4-5. Pirates, Brian Reynolds just went yard. Cover that plus 1.5, please, darling. Why don't you? That'd be so nice. But you know what? We're not here to live sweat. We're here to talk about Tuesday's game. This is a forward-looking program, so that's what we're going to do. It's Roansy Contreras on the mound here for the Pirates, going up against Nick Pivetta, and I have never liked Nick Pivetta. I still don't like Nick Pivetta. He gives up fly balls. He can give up tons of home runs from time to time. That's been just kind of the plague of his entire career. A 15-degree average launch angle, 45.6% hard hit percentage in 2022. Can get strikeouts from time to time, which is the appealing part, but enough bats from both sides. He definitely gives up righty power as well as a righty pitcher. So one of those reverse split things you just remember through the years. Don't even have to look at it. You just remember these things about certain pitchers. So we'll see if he can buck the trend, but probably not, even against the Pirates. I like the Pirates today. And speaking of, Roansy Contreras is a pitcher that I had my eye on for a while. I thought the strikeout stuff might be able to translate from AAA into the majors, but alas, it did not. He's very young. He is a 23-year-old, 2 big league seasons. He actually just basically appeared one time in a spot start there in 2021, so that doesn't count. But last year, lots of appearances, gave up lots of barrels, an 11% barrel rate, 9.6% walk rate. None of that feels very good. Found a way to get a 3.79 ERA with a nice second half of the season, but the expected ERA of 4.43, that doesn't feel good. And in case you didn't notice, in case you failed to see, this is the Red Sox bleeding for you. This is them down on their knees, and these foolish games would be going out of your way to bet this game. So I'm going to be leaning plus 1.5 Pittsburgh. If you picked up the Batman and Robin Jewel reference, congratulations. We've reached that portion of the program here in the MLB, but same play, plus 1.5. I just can't do it. Probably going to be staying away from this game. Maybe just keep taking overs because Boston's going to score 1,000,000 runs a game. No, they're not. Chill out, guys. Next up, well, here's a pitcher. Max Scherzer on the mound for the New York Mets, taking on Wade Miley. He's just being Miley on the daily, but that's not generally a very good thing to be because this lefty is just, he's not good. He's never been good. He will never be good. It's unfortunate, but sometimes that's just the way the cookie crumbles. You're still in the majors. Congratulations. But you have an 8.8% walk rate from last year with just a 17.6%. Everything about him is bad. We don't like it. It hurts my feelings. He can limit hard contact from time to time. That's the one shout out that we have for him. But come on, it's Max Scherzer on the other side of the mound. Regardless, whatever you thought about Max Scherzer, it is what it is. I would like to see these Mets bats wake up just a little bit. Not a lot, baby girl, just a little bit. We can head to the crib in a little bit. I can show you how I live in a little bit. But until then, Pete Alonso, come on, dude. Let's just start raking. It's about time. Francisco Lindor. Maybe the back half of this Mets lineup, they spent a lot of money to get whipped up 10-0 there on Monday. I was on the Milwaukee side. I would lean on the Mets side here, but books know Max Scherzer's on the mound. Books, I mean, it's not a very fun spot to be at. Actually surprised the line isn't even a little bit wider, but it doesn't actually project out that well for me. So this is what it is. Again, if you want to have a parlay piece, -1.5, try to get a little aggressive, get on that run line, get some plus money. Sounds great, but I probably wouldn't do it. The featured event of the evening, my friends, Toronto Blue Jays, Kansas City Royals. That game hasn't even started here yet. It's about to start in like a minute. One of the locks that we had from Monday's program, and oh, are we running it back here on Tuesday? I get it. Toronto, -155 favorites going up against Kansas City. And contrary to last game, or should I say Monday's matchup, where we had Brady Singer, a pitcher who I think could actually end up being pretty good long-term. On the mound for them today is Chris Bubich, and Chris Bubich has a booby on his hand or something of that nature that makes him not pitch well. He had a 45% hard hit percentage, a 286 expected batting average, sub 19% K rate, and 10.7% walk rate. Those are very, very bad numbers, and Toronto should be able to knock them around. But I got word that Yusei Kikuchi, the guy that we bet to the moon against last year. Yes, you heard me. We bet against him to the moon last year. Knocks on a moon. That's a Mummy reference for you. But Yusei Kikuchi, he's going to get killed right here. That is what I'm feeling right now going up against this Kansas City lineup. He has so many problems in his arsenal, a 48% hard hit percentage. The only thing that's ever appealing to his repertoire is the Ks. He can find ways to get people to chase outside of the zone from time to time. The people who lay off of it, he had a 12.8% walk rate and a 27.3% K percentage. And when you don't have a put away situation where you can't locate, you don't know where it's going from time to time, you get massive value betting against him. So this is not the kind of parlay piece. This is not the Max Scherzer that you might want to throw into a parlay or two. This is an individual standalone bet, same one as Monday. I'm going to be backing this Kansas City lineup. The whole back half of it is terrible, but Bobby Witt, we're looking at getting Sal Perez. Come on back. Why was he not in the lineup today? Whatever. MJ Melendez sitting up there. Sweet Melendez. I feel really good about Kansas City in every single way, shape, and form. Now, I don't feel good about what I saw against my Twins this weekend. Well, I kind of do. But Kansas City, when you're getting plus 135 against a pitcher who I don't care that he had a good spring, I really need to see it. This is a prove it spot for him. And until he proves it, I got enough units going up against this guy that I'm more than happy to lock it in. Prove it to me, Kikuchi. Prove it. We go to St. Louis next. Two lefties, one I'm familiar with, one I am not. Steven Matz on the mound for the Cardinals. Talk about him in a second, but actually, we're really not. Steven Matz, he's fine. I have no play on this game. He could be decent, could also not be. Seems like the story of the Cardinals starting rotation, but the numbers project out pretty well for me. But I'm looking at this Dylan Dodd fellow. They're putting a lefty, an unproven lefty on the mound against the St. Louis Cardinals lineup. And that is a little scary to me. In Double-A ball, where he primarily pitched last year, he had 9 starts, 46 1/3 innings, 1.27 whip. Decent enough stuff, nothing crazy. Only 3 home runs given up, though, over the course of those 46 1/3. But played at Mississippi. Seems like it's a decent enough stadium that suppresses some kind of power there in AAA. Definitely not your Renos or your Pacific Coast League, something that I will cite from time to time as we get pitchers coming up from the NL West who find themselves in better ballparks most of the time, unless it's Coors Field, because that's a disaster. But do you know Paul Goldschmidt plays for the Cardinals? Because I do. And he is rather good against lefties. In fact, over the course of his entire career has been just smashing lefties into infinity and beyond. This year, 2 for 2 against them. But going back to last year, I mean, this guy just created havoc in that regard. MVP season, had over a 250 WRC plus from time to time. It was just some of the dumbest stuff, some of the dumbest numbers against lefties you'll ever see. So him, Nolan Arenado, it's not like books don't know that they're there, but something you can do from time to time is pair the St. Louis money line with a home run prop. And I need to see the numbers. We don't have them out here yet. I'm begging you, one-time dealer, find some good numbers here for Goldschmidt and Arenado. We've been pulling the doubles quite a bit on sites like Prize Picks, where they used to have home run trios. They do not have home run trios right now, but still want to give a shout out to my guy, the absolute lefty killer of the world. I want over 1.5 total bases. I also want to be betting him to homers. So if the numbers are good, hit me up on at Eric Lindquist on Twitter. I will tell you whether it's on the card or not, but I really, really want some good numbers. So, hey, books, throw us a bone here. Boss, need the info. Look, we have infinity baseball games, back-to-back days here. Rangers now coming up here. Andrew Heaney going up against Tyler Wells. And I don't want you to be betting every game on the board. I hope you understand that we are not here to bet 15 baseball games and that I want to have my pride and existence stapled to all 15 of these, because that's not how this works. But there are good spots to find, like this one, and it just stands out to me. Andrew Heaney, who wanted him last year? Oh, the Los Angeles Dodgers. He was with the Angels, goes to the Dodgers, finds a way to inflate that K rate like crazy. 35.5% K rate. Ran into some injury concerns and also some hard hit concerns. Those are fly balls too. Just want to throw it out there. 17.8 degree average launch angle, an extreme fly ball pitcher. The nature of, he's like the lefty Scherzer, if you will, with that K rate. But Scherzer did not give up the same kind of hard hit. He's going up against Tyler Wells, and I've said it before, I'll say it again. I don't believe in this Baltimore starting rotation. That is going to be their huge bugaboo. Sure isn't going to be their lineup, but Tyler Wells, coming off of a decent debut with a 29% K rate, just a 5.4% walk rate when he was 26 in the year of our Lord 2021. 2022 was not nearly as good, a 4.25 ERA, even though the expected ERA still sub 4. Seems like he's got a decent enough fastball. He's throwing more than 40% of the time. The changeup seems to be a decent pitch that gets a lot of whiffs, 33.1% whiff percentage last season. So there are some redeeming qualities of the 6'8" Tyler Wells, like, I don't know, women like tall people. That's a redeeming quality. Just thought I'd say that before I said we should bet against him because he's not all that good. And Heaney could be, he could be really, really good. Again, you go to the Dodgers. What happens to Joey Gallo? He turns into a monster. What happens to Andrew Heaney? We'll find out. Change of scenery, change of environment. But when the Dodgers reconstruct your pitching, I feel pretty good about your profile going forward in the American League here. So, Andrew Heaney, let's back him on the money line. Texas. This is your parlay piece du jour. If you're looking for it, I would attach it to lots of things. That's it. A pitcher that I've been trying to make a thing for far too long, which is ironic because they're in the AL Central against my Twins. Matt Manning of the Detroit Tigers taking on extreme ground ball pitcher Framber Valdez, who's back up to his old tricks after one start. A negative 4.3 degree average launch angle in that spot. 47% hard hit. That was not ideal. 18.2% K rate right out of the gate. He's never been a crazy high K rate guy, even though last year found his way to 23.5%. That was his highest in a season since 2020. So shout out the good things there. but no walks. I love seeing no walks. I love seeing no earned runs from Framber Valdez. No issues there. But Matt Manning is generally the guy that people know a lot less about. He was a heralded prospect, finds ways to suppress hard contact from time to time. That's an exciting part of his repertoire. He's still young. He's 25 years old, but only an 18.3% K rate, coming off of 14.8%. I need to see that thing come up, because if you're not getting swings and misses in the AL, you're probably running into the gauntlet sooner rather than later. So I'm going to be paying close attention to him. I'm leaning Detroit getting the 1.5 here. I get it. Houston, everybody believes in Houston. Houston's very good. Hunter Brown I need to get off this so I can watch him pitch. But either way, Detroit plus 1.5. That's where I'm leaning. But my God, why would I want to be betting against Houston right now? Think it's a pass. I want to wait and see. Going to pay close attention to Matt Manning's first start. Hopefully he can be serviceable. Not completely get lit up. I don't want him to be awesome. That's for damn sure. That would be bad. Then you lose all value. Detroit. We'll bet him eventually, just not here. Jose Suarez and the Halos taking on Luis Castillo in round 2 for him of the Seattle Mariners. And decent enough stuff that we saw from him. No earned runs. Again, a .86 expected ERA in that start. Just 76 pitches. Those are the other things that you want to be paying very close attention to. We have some teams that are starting a 5th or 6th starter in certain spots, filling in for, maybe a 5th starter who's hurt. You have a Joe Musgrove situation in San Diego. You have Ranger Suarez out for Philly. But Seattle, they're healthy. They've got their normal rotation. George Kirby playing on Monday. Going into April 4th, though, here on Tuesday, you're seeing this 5-man rotation turnover. And Luis Castillo, just seeing less than 80 pitches out of him there against Cleveland in that opening spot. Not ideal, but avoided all barrels. Just did normal stuff here, but going up against this Angels lineup, I think they're going to be better long-term than Cleveland. I don't think that's a super hot take. Not a better baseball team, because starting rotation, the pen, all of those things are problematic, but such is life. That's what happens when you have Ohtani. That's what happens when you have these other guys. But I like what we're seeing out of him so far. I also am very intrigued to see what we're going to get out of Suarez here in this one. Another lefty that exists on this slate, and he did a great job of suppressing power last year. Sub 40% hard hit, a 298 xWOBA, a 22.3% K rate isn't nothing. I mean, it's the highest he's had over the course of his career. And yet another arm that I feel like has been in the major leagues for 10 years. He's only been there for 4 years. He's legitimately 25 years old. You could have told me he was 35. I would have believed you. So these are the kind of things I'm paying attention to. And against Seattle, this ballpark is a cavern. Contrary to what you're going to see from Julio Rodriguez and Ty France, 2 guys I expect to have big years, this ballpark can play like a cavern. And if he's going to be suppressing the power once again this year, coming off of really big issues with the hard hit back at AAA, did a great job there of fixing some of those problems. Just a 7.1% walk rate. I think the under's a little bit undervalued here. So 7.5 runs being the line. I get it. We just saw them blow up Oakland. Yeah, Angels over the course of this last weekend blew up the A's. But I think we want to be investing in the under. 7.5 here. It's on the board. It's on the card. I like it. 2 games to go. Please hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bells. We're burning not the midnight oil. It's like the 6 p.m. oil, something like that. We're burning oil over here. Shane Bieber of the Cleveland Guardians taking on the Oakland Athletics, and J.P. Sears. And similar to Sears, the chain store, he should be shut down. He should be out of business. A 43.4% hard hit percentage, a 327 xWOB, and a 17.7% K rate. I thought he was going to be something. I thought he'd be a contender coming up through the Yankees organization. But alas, he is not. He's not very good at all. He's just really bad. Low 90s fastball. Really nothing that I see in his arsenal that's all that intriguing. 365 xWOBA. Max exit velocity, bottom 1st percentile in the league. 118. Like, we're talking, when he gets hit, the ball goes very far. But how can I bet Cleveland at -200 here in this spot when I truly, outside of J-Ram, Stephen Kwan from time to time, who's just simply going to be one of those guys that might benefit from the rules, be able to steal some bags, score a lot of runs. I don't want to be laying -200 going to this Cleveland lineup, even with Shane Bieber on the mound. So the A's seems like a spot that's eerily similar to Scherzer. Obviously, this is a longer number because the Brewers are a better baseball team than the A's. But it's just one of those spots where it's hard for me to really model for something when obviously Shane Bieber should be the massive favorite here, but you're getting enough. You're just getting enough from the A's lineup that they're projecting out fine. I would like to see, a Shane Bieber start where he went to 95 pitches or something of that to really want to lay minus 200. Cleveland's got a decent pen. They always do. They've got Terry Francona, one of the best managers in the game, no doubt about it. But I'm going to be paying close attention to these odds here on Cleveland because 87 pitches for Bieber. I think we need to be seeing him a little bit north of that here in this outing to really make minus 200 worth it. And at that point, I'm just going to lean on the money line. Not really the best of plays. I'm looking for value. I'm on a lot of dogs early in the MLB season. I hope you figured that out by now, but Cleveland money line, not all that intriguing. But hey, we get to finish up our night with an actual play. It's German Marquez of the Rockies going up against Julio Urias of the Dodgers, and we're kind of happy with Marquez because Marquez held down the fort, found us some W's. We got a couple of nice W's at plus money back in Colorado in those first two outings, and he did just enough to be serviceable. And that's really all you're looking for from Marquez when he's outside of Coors. Talked about it before. I'm going to talk about it all year long. Some of these splits these guys have when they go and pitch in Coors over the course of their career, and then they go on the road to a spot. Dodger Stadium, a little bit better hitter's park than something like Petco, but even still, it's a way bigger upgrade than that of something that we're looking at, like Coors Field, the best hitter's park in all of baseball. And German Marquez, can you just be serviceable to a certain extent? Probably not in this spot. Probably not in this spot. Enough lefties. We have Outman, who's becoming a hitman for the Dodgers. My producer just fake laughed to that. I appreciate the effort. We're still in early season form here. We're trying our best, but Julio Urias, he's one of the pitchers that you just got to like long-term for the Dodgers. It's nice to see the pitch count been inflated here in recent years. That had always been kind of a bugaboo of something that we're looking at from his side of things, but you know what you're running into. Hopefully we can kind of right the ship a little bit there, Urias. Find some ways to limit some of the hard contact, 50% hard hit percentage right out of the gate. Found ways to not really have it affect him, just the lone blemish there, but 79 pitches. As that goes up, you still have a decent enough bullpen there for the Dodgers with Gratterall and guys of that nature. So minus 1.5, we're going to like it. It's a very small play for me, but you start giving me run line on the Dodgers here up against the Rockies, and these are just two teams that are not equal. So at home, Dodgers get right spot. Tuesday, smack them around, just a small play. And that does it for another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks MLB edition. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Check out Bet365. The link for that is in the video description box below. You bet $1, get $200 in bet credits right now in the great states of Colorado, New Jersey, Virginia, and Ohio. I will be back on Wednesday. I'm going to go cover 13 NBA games real quick. Make sure you check out NBA Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Would really appreciate that as well here at the Odd Chopper channel. Until Wednesday, I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the MLB streets on Tuesday.